those IK controllers to create this walk cycle. But having said that, if you have created this rig based on the previous issue, then you can certainly follow this process that I'm about to show you for the walk cycle using your FK rig. You don't have to use the IK rig, but I wanted to show you an alternative so that you can walk away with the ability to do both after this tutorial. So let me just show you what the IK rig looks like and how some of the subtle differences are in the rig. So this is the IK rig, and it's exactly the same in many ways with the exception of the feet and the hands. Notice the feet have a new controller. Here it is down here, and all you do is simply highlight the controller and you can move it up, forward, and notice if I move it up, the knee bends automatically and the ankle foot keeps pointing forward. Now that's basically how IK works. I can move it up, I can move it across, and all of these joints actually work the way they should. I've wired the control into the joints so that they work the correct way. I've restricted them from rotating on axes that they shouldn't be rotating on. You may notice these little helpers out here. These are for the knee, and if I point this up here and then grab this helper and move it, you'll see that wherever I move it to, the knee will point at it, and the elbows are the same. Now the hands have a new controller, and if I bend that, if I move that controller in, you can see the arm is bending exactly the way it should. So I could move that in, I could move it down, and you can see that I'm getting some very nice organic type motion, albeit restricted the way the joints should be restricted. Like the elbow will only rotate on the axis it should, and it also has an elbow helper which is out behind the elbow here. Be careful where you put these. If they are too close to the character, you can get some funny residual animation, and try not to ever bring them in front of the character because you'll get some very unwanted movement there. Just undo those moves, put our character back to its starting position. As for the rest of the character, it's exactly the way it was before. I've got my pelvis controller, which is my center of gravity. I've got my rotation for the hips, which operate a little bit differently. Because I've got IK, the feet always will stick to where the IK helpers are, the two feet controllers, and that way I can actually get some very nice movement in the hips, and the whole hip or the whole leg won't start rotating with those hips, which is exactly what we want. I've got some upper body control, the same as our FK rig. Now watch what happens when I rotate too far. I can actually break the hand off the joint. So as we animate, we have to be cautious to not move this IK controller